Hey guys, it is Carly bringing you day number 24 of my 31 days of horror, and once again I have went to the trusty Netflix to find my movie, and once again I'm going to be talking about an anthology, and that is VHS from the year 2012. Now this is not strictly a Halloween anthology, obviously. It is just a mixture of VHS tapes, but the final segment was set on Halloween, so that's why I went with this one. So basically the plot of VHS is a couple of guys are going to kind of steal a VHS tape from this house, and upon arrival they see that there is a guy in there who is no longer alive, sitting on the couch, and in front of him is a staticky TV with a bunch of VHS tapes, so they're a little confused on what's going on, and they start kind of going through the VHS tapes and watching them, and that is where you get the rest of your shorts in this story, with, of course, the beginning portion being its own short in itself. It's kind of like the wraparound story a little bit, but, these shorts aren't really related. The only relatable thing is that they are all just the VHS tapes that were found inside this house. Other than that, they're totally different stories. But I saw this movie a couple years back for the first time, and I gotta say, the first time I watched it, it effectively scared me. I don't really get too creeped out by movies these days since I've watched so many horror movies now, so I don't get as scared as I did when I was younger, but this movie did a good job of actually creeping me out and making me, like, afraid of the dark, and I was afraid to be alone after watching it type deal. Upon rewatch, it didn't really have necessarily the same effect, but the one thing I do give this movie a lot of credit for is it is a very creepy movie. I think there's a difference between, like, a typical scary movie and a creepy movie. A scary movie to me is like Halloween or Friday the 13th, where it's like, oh, there's a killer after you, and that is scary. You wouldn't want it to happen, but at the same time, those movies, you know, they aren't realistic, and you don't really get afraid. You won't get really creeped out at night and afraid to be alone type deal. But with a creepy movie, you do get those feelings. Like, I feel like I want to just run to my mother type deal and just walk around the house with all the lights on because I think a demon's going to get me. That's how I feel after watching a very creepy movie, and this film is creepy throughout. I feel like all the shorts do a very good job of keeping the same type of atmosphere. Like, even though they're not related shorts, they feel almost like they were made by the same people, which obviously they're made by different directors, but they kept the same atmosphere. Some anthologies where you have a bunch of shorts, the shorts are very, very just like different. Like, one will be like a comedy horror, one will be a drama horror, one will be like very dark, one will be very lighthearted type of deal, and I'm not a big fan of that. I do really like how this movie just kept the same theme throughout. All the shorts I really enjoy quite a bit. I don't think there's one bad short in this. My least favorite would probably be the, I guess, Skype type chat between the girl and her boyfriend or friend or whatever. That one is still pretty scary, but at the same time, like, it's the one that I'm just the least entertained by. I know a lot of people don't like the one where they go into the woods. I think it's called like Tuesday the 17th or something weird like that, but and I gotta say, I do enjoy that one. I think the main girl in that one is a little bit annoying, and like her dialogue is, you know, kind of purposely like unrealistic, but it just doesn't really do it for me. So that would be my second least favorite. But all in all, I think all the shorts are pretty solid. The Halloween one's a pretty good one to end on, and my favorite one is definitely the first one, with the second one coming in close. I think the two at the very beginning are pretty solid. The one where they're going on the road trip, and the one, of course, where the guys pick up the girls and take them to the hotel. So yeah, all in all, I think it's a pretty successful story. I also like how the wraparound it's its own story in itself. Like, something scary and messed up happens in that. So that's pretty cool, because some wraparounds just kind of like end and you don't really get too much going on with them. But this one tries to, you know, make all the stories pretty solid. None of them are really slacking or anything like that. Of course, you can have your favorites and your least favorites, but I don't think any of them are really bad. So all in all, it's a pretty successful anthology film. Hard to make those where they're all very good shorts, and this one definitely accomplishes that. So for me, I give it an 8.5 out of 10. Thank you guys for joining me for day number 24 of my 31 Days of Horror, and I'll see you in day 25.